English High School. Our topic will start with the Science and Technology Part 2, first chapter, that is Heredity and Evolution. Okay, Heredity and Evolution. The first session today we are starting. In this Heredity and Evolution, we will see today, we will focus only on the evolution part. As you can see in the picture also, you can understand, you must knowing about this also. In the history you must have studied about the evolution. So we will see in plants and animal how the plants have been evolved, what are the different scientists which have discovered all this evolution, what are the different evidences they have proved for the theory of evolution. We will see today. We will focus only on the evolution part. Here you can see the small horse gradually changing after many years. Evolution is a gradual change occurring in living organism over a long duration. So evolution is not one day process, it takes time. So if you see the difference of many years ago person or species, and you will see after some years, so you will see a difference in that person. As you also, you are small, you look different, and when you become bigger, you look different after many years, 20 years old, after 40 years old, after 50 years old, your looks also changes. So these here the changes is happening during the many years after the evolution. So evolution is a gradual change occurring in the living organisms over a long duration. It is a slow changes, but it takes a long duration to happen. So this is the very slow going process through which development of organism is achieved. So you can see here the horse example is given. This is a gradual change which is happening very slowly. It takes many years to achieve that new organism. Development of organism is achieved. Next we will see, students, definition of evolution. If this question will come in your exam, you have to write a proper definition of evolution. How you will write? Formation of new species due to changes in the specific characters of several generations of living organisms as a response to natural selection is called evolution. So I will repeat again. This is very important definition. What is the evolution? What we are learning about? Formation of new species due to changes in specific character. Means some specific characters are changing and new species are formed. Of several generations, means after several generations, new species is formed of living organisms as a response to natural selection. Means nature are selecting those who can cope up with the natural calamities or natural disaster or anything which can withstand with the all kind of problems. The nature are selecting those people only. So formation of new species due to changes in specific characters of several generations of living organisms as a response to natural selection. By natural selection, those species are formed. So that is called as evolution. Next, here evolution, it is in the starting there was unicellular organism, then it changed many species or many different kinds of thousands of species are there on the earth of animals and plants. As you know, there are many species are there, you cannot count them, but there are many species, more than thousands of species are there of plants and animals. How these stars and planets were formed? Many times you must many students or many people are wondering how these planets have been formed in the starting. You must be thinking sometime how the starting of these planets, how they have been formed, how the stars and planets were formed. So we will see that how this is started, and this is discovered by the scientists. Big Bang Theory. This is given the name Big Bang Theory by the scientist George Lemaitre. Remember this. This can come for your fill in the blanks, for match the column, like that. It can come anywhere in the question or 1 marks question. Who discovered the Big Bang Theory? So you have to remember George Lemaitre was the scientist who discovered the Big Bang Theory. So what was there in the Big Bang Theory? We will see, students. Big Bang Theory, according to this theory, approximately 13.7 billion years ago, means many years ago, the universe started as just a single point. There was a single point. This single point exploded. Okay, it exploded and all the materials present inside it was thrown in the space. So, Big Bang Theory given by George Lemaitre. So, he said that according to Big Bang this theory, approximately 13.7 billion years ago, the universe was only a single point. Okay, and from that single point, that single point exploded for some reason, and all the materials present inside it was thrown into the space. So you can see the next slide. Gradually from these materials, stars and planets were formed. From the single point, the universe was according to this theory, universe was a single point and it exploded and all the materials was thrown into the space, and from those materials the stars and planets were formed gradually, means slowly. Next, you can see a peek into history. If you'll see in the history, the different like Indian philosophers and religious scholars given the different theory or different views about the history. So here you can see the Indian philosopher or religious scholars, Chinese, Roman, Greek. So by all these philosophers have written something, or by some evidence they have said about something about the history. So we will see into the history what they have said. A peek into the history they have written about the planets, stars, or Panch Mahabhuta. So all these information, many information were written by these Indian philosophers or the Chinese or Roman philosophers. So we can get the evidence from that. You can see a peek in history. Roman poetries, they have written the poetries into the Roman. So by reading that we can understand, we can get idea something about the history, what was happening during many years ago. Now here about 3.5 billion years ago, life did not exist on the earth. So according to the scientists and different evidences, the scientists have observed that they have found out that about 3.5 billion years ago, life was not there on the earth. Okay, and after that gradually it started one by one, gradually you can say. So at the beginning there may have been only simple elements. So they are they are guessing that at the beginning there may have been only simple elements in the ocean on the earth, and simple type of organic and inorganic compounds may have been formed from those. So we have so many things, complex also, simple also. So scientists have found out that at the beginning, in the starting of the earth, on the planet earth, the life started with a simple thing, simple elements in the ocean. So remember this. So this you have to remember as a knowledge. First living things started according to scientists in the ocean on the earth, and simple type of organic and inorganic compounds may have been formed from those. So they are thinking by the evidence, they are concluding that in the starting the life has started from the ocean, from a very simple things, and then they are mixed to form a complex things. Like here simple elements are given like hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon, sulfur. So these may have been formed in the starting. Then simple organic compounds you can see methane, formaldehyde, urea. Simple inorganic compounds carbon dioxide, water, ammonia, sulfur dioxide, hydrogen sulfide. So all these were the simple organic compounds and inorganic compounds, and there was ultraviolet rays were there which were coming in the ocean, and they are helping to form a new living things, new living beings. Okay, next is nucleic acid. You can see proteins. After the simple organic and inorganic compounds, the complex things started to occur or to discover. So okay, so here from simple organic compounds, from simple inorganic compounds, there is a formation of complex compound, that is proteins and nucleic acids. So proteins and nucleic acids, like nucleic acids is there in our DNA structure, RNA structure, and protein is the building material of our body which is helping to grow up. So these complex materials started forming after gradually. In the starting it was simple thing, then simple to complex things get started to form. Next year, from the mixture of different types of organic and inorganic compounds, the first primitive type of cells may have been formed. So they are concluding, scientists, that from mixture of these different types of organic and inorganic compound, the first primitive type of cells have been formed. So which cell have been formed? We will see here. They are replicating each other. These are the microorganisms. So woolly mammoth, natural selection, I said, which the animals or the plants which can cope up with the condition, geographical condition, they only can survive. Otherwise, everything, the others, those who cannot survive with the nature only selecting those who can survive, others got perish. Like dinosaur also, they extinct, they are extinct species now. Some plants also got extinct because they cannot survive with the natural condition. So nature is selecting those who can survive with the nature. Next you can see polar bear, penguin, Asiatic lion, and then great Indian bustard. So these are all about to extinct or got extinct. So these are very rare species which are there on the earth, you cannot find easily. So these are because of the natural condition also, and many times because of the human activities these got endangered. Next, at present, crores of species of plants and animals with huge diversity regarding shape and complexity are present on the earth. So if you will see around yourself also, there are variety of plants are there, variety of animals are there. If you go in jungle or in any other part, so that in your house also there are cats, dogs, monkeys, sometimes you can see the rats are there. Then sometimes you see elephant. So there are different varieties of species are there, thousands of, more than crores of species of plants and animals with huge diversity, means different types of species are there with a huge variety, with the shape, complexity are present on the earth. Next we will see, first in the starting, maybe unicellular animals have been formed. You must have studied about the unicellular animals, amoeba, which is living in water. You can find out parameciums are there. These are unicellular animals which is made up of only one cell. And then multicellular animals like human being, giant whale. So these comes under the multicellular animals. So as I said in the starting, when the living things got started into exist on the earth, about 3.5 million years ago, it was not, there is no life on the earth. But after that, gradually started from the simple to complex, like from unicellular animals to it got started with multicellular animals also have been formed. Now next is a plant, about plants. Unicellular plants are there, for example chlorella is the unicellular plant. So in the plants also, from the simple plant, from unicellular plants it got gradually developed into the multicellular plants. You can see nowadays many species like banyan tree comes under the multicellular plants. Next you can see, on the earth there are different kinds of species are there. Organism from the equator, organism from the both the poles. So there are many species, more crores of species are with a different variety, with shape and sizes are with a different complexity are present on the earth. Living organisms are present, air, water, land, rocks. So living organisms are present on different habitat. Like in air also they are present. Like microorganisms are present in the air. Then water, in water bodies, fishes are there. Other big fishes, small fishes are there. Many things live in the water. Like in the water, the algae are there, and many species are there like shark or starfish. Then many species which are there in living in the water, aquatic animals or aquatic plants which live in water. Then land also, the plants or animals which are there on the land, and on the rocks also you can see in the rocky places there is a life exists. So living organisms are present in air also, water also, land, rocks. So in different places, different habitat, the living organisms are present. Next you can see, as I said, gradual development of living organism. We have seen the solar system. It got one single point exploded and it changes into a different stars and planets got exist. And here you can see the horse, example of horse. From the young small one, there is a, you can see in the structure also, in the shape, in the design also there is a change. So gradual changes has happened. This is called as the evolution. Now theory of evolution, how they are explaining, this can come for short note also students. Just explain theory of evolution. So in the starting, in theory of evolution you will write, first living material protoplasm has been formed in ocean. This can come for your MCQs also. Like first living material protoplasm has been formed in the ocean. So you have to remember that first living material, which was that protoplasm, and it is formed in the ocean. Okay, remember this general knowledge question also, remember this, and for your exam also this can come for MCQs. Next, theory of evolution. What is, as we discussed before also, first the simple organisms formed like unicellular organisms, paramecium, chlorella plant or amoeba. So these species formed, first simple species have been formed in the ocean, then gradually it goes to the complex one. Next you can see there are simple to complex materials. Now we can see the corals of species are there with a different shape and a complexity. So this started 300 years ago. The simple protoplasm, unicellular organism protoplasm discovered or formed into the ocean, and then gradually there are different types of animals or plants are available now. Next we will see this overall process from the simple to complex formation of different species gradually, of different varieties. Okay, this is called as the evolution, which is organizational. Organizational means first simple, then more complex, then more complex, then multicellular animal. So from unicellular to multicellular animals, this is organizational. This is called the evolution, which is organizational evolution. Next, progressive development of plants and animals from the ancestors having different structural and functional organization is called evolution. So you can define evolution like this also, progressive development of plants and animals from the ancestors. Ancestors means from where they exist, like our ancestors are our parents, our grandparents. So from the gradual progressive development of plants and animals from the ancestors having different structural and functional organization is called as the evolution. Means there is a change in the species gradually. Next, are there such evidences which are proving this? We cannot, scientifically we cannot believe in anything. We should know any proof or any evidence which will prove this. There was this theory of evolution. So this theory of evolution, for your kind information, I want to say this is accepted widely. Most of the people has accepted this theory of evolution because the scientist has given the different evidences. Like in your court also, if you have to prove crime, so you have to prove, or you have to prove that you have not done anything. So you have to prove that in the court, in front of judge or the lawyer. So like that, for the theory of evolution, the scientists have proved, they have given this different evidences to prove this theory of evolution. Means in the starting there was a simple organism which has shown the changes which we called as the evolution. So many evidences have been given by the scientists to prove this. So we will see that one by one, students. So earlier this boy was thinking, are there such evidences which is proving this theory of evolution? Next he is thinking that are there such evidences? So we will see that why the theory of evolution is so widely accepted. why the people, most of the people accepted this theory. So we will see that why they have accepted this theory. Okay, so there are two questions. How life began on the earth? Before starting with the theory of evolution, the evidences, there are two questions arises. How life began on the earth? And second question, how various living organisms evolved? Okay, so we will see the answer for these two questions. How life began on the earth and how various living organisms are evolved on the earth. Now students, you can see here some animals and some plants. So first we will focus on the animal. You see some similar characteristics between these animals. Okay, dog or goat or wolf. So which characteristics they are showing similarities? So that comes under the morphological. Morphology means what? From outside, the appearance, how they look, that is called as the morphology. So how they are looking similar, something is similar in that. So morphologically how they are similar, if they are similar, so they have come from the same ancestors, same origin. Okay, so this is the evolution which is showing in this variety. So we will focus on the animal first. Students, see these animals three, which similarities they have, similarities in characteristic we will see. Structure of mouth, you can see the mouth structure. Position of eyes, positions of eyes are same. Next, structure of nostril, there is no nose, at the nose there is a nostril present. Structure of ear pinna, you can see most probably they are looking same. Structure of ear pinnae, then thickly distributed hairs on the body. So these are the similar characteristics you can see in these three animals. Structure of mouth, position of eyes, structure of nostril, structure of ear pinnae, thickly distributed hairs on the body. Now next we will focus on these plants. Okay, plant leaf structure, how they look. So in morphological evidences for the plants, we will see these three fruits, plant, how they are looking similar. See students, with the red color it is marked. You can see the leaf shape. Leaf shape of these three fruits plant are same. Next you can see leaf venation. You can see the parallel venation. Like this venation you see in the banana leaves also. Parallel venation in front of each other, parallel. So these all three fruits plants, they are showing the parallel venation. So leaf venation is same, leaf shape is same. Next we can see the similar characteristic is leaf petiole. Leaf petiole, below the leaf there is a leaf petiole shown in the red color. So leaf petiole is also showing the similar structure. So what we conclude from this evidence, morphological evidence, that these three animals you can see, they are showing the same characteristics. So they have come from the same origin or from the common ancestors. Next, on the right hand side, the fruits we have seen, the fruit plant, they are showing the leaf structure same. So they are also maybe come from the same origin or common ancestors. Understood students? These are called as the morphological evidence, means outside morphologically they are having the similar characteristics. Now we will see the next evidence to prove the theory of evolution, that is the anatomical evidence. So let's see here, anatomical evidence. There doesn't seem any superficial similarity between human hand, cat's foreleg. So first of all you can see here, this is a human leg structure is given, anatomy of cat's foreleg, flipper of whale, patagium of bat. So if you see, you will say that there is no similarities we can see. So we will see that how they are looking same. You can see the working of human hand, flippering of the whale, cat's foreleg, how they are walking by using the foreleg, Patagium of bat. Bat are moving using the patagium. So there is similarity in the structure of bones and body joints. You can see in their body there are joints present. So all the four, there are body joints are present, and the body joints in the organs of each of these animals are present. There is a similarity in structure of bones and body joints in the organs of each of these animals. So here you can see there are body joints are present in all these animals. Next anatomical evidence is this similarity indicates that these animals may have a common ancestors. If they are showing the similarity in the joining of the bones, so maybe they somewhere they are connected by the same ancestor or common ancestor. Okay students, now we will see anatomical evidence are available in support of theory of evolution. So till now we have seen which evidence? Morphological evidence and anatomical evidence. Next we will see different parts of body are very useful. If we'll think about many parts of our body, most of the part of our body are useful, like brain, heart, lungs, small intestine, large intestine. So here, is each of the organs present in the body useful to the organism? This boy is thinking, or you must be thinking sometime, is each of the if you are thinking, most of the time we think that all the body parts are useful, but we will see there are some vestigial organ also which is not useful. We don't use that, but that is present in our body. So that is called as the vestigial organ, which is not useful, or we can say it is useless part of the body which is not we don't use that. So that is called as the vestigial organ. So we will see about that, which are the vestigial organs present in our body. It is not necessary that each organ present in the body of an organism is useful to that organism. In human body there are many organs which are not useful to it. So we will see students which body organs are not useful. You must be thinking about this. Let's see about that. Some vestigial organs like appendix. If you see in the diagram, at the end of the large intestine, appendix is present, which we are not using for any function or any body function, for any work of our body. Next, wisdom teeth. You must be knowing wisdom teeth at the end of your teeth. There are one wisdom teeth comes in different ages. It is not same for all at which age, but different people got this wisdom teeth at different ages, and this you don't use. It is there with the set of your teeth, but it is not useful. You are not using the wisdom teeth for your chewing or for your biting. Okay, so it is vestigial organ, wisdom teeth. So if these body parts are not useful to the human body, then why they are present in the body? You must be also thinking about this. Why they are present if they are not useful to our body? Okay, student, we'll see why. Degenerated. So what is a vestigial organ? Here in the diagram the spelling is given vestigial organ. It is not vestigial, it is vestigial organs. Degenerated or underdeveloped useless organs of organisms are called vestigial organs. If some part are not used every time, most frequently, so it undergoes degeneration. So these are called as the useless organs of organism or vestigial organs, remember. And this is the important question comes in your exam. Define vestigial organ, name some vestigial organs, okay, and name some vestigial organ which are vestigial for human body but it is useful and fully functional in the animal. So this kind of question, 3-4 marks question, 1 marks question can come from this vestigial organ. This is important question. Here you can see vestigial organ. It is useful, like monkey, it is using to hang on the tree, but it is not useful for the human beings. We are not using the tail. So as the evolution happens, this tail got degeneration. So we don't have tail now. Monkey, we have studied in the history that the human beings were monkey before, then it evolved. We will see at the end in the last session that from the monkey the human beings have been evolved. So monkeys are having tail but the human beings doesn't have because they are not using it. They are using their hands for eating or for working something, for doing any kind of work. Now vestigial organ here, useful body structure for the monkey, for their safety, for hanging from the trees to trees. So they are using this body structure, that is tail. Here useless body structure. If there are evolution is happening, human beings doesn't have this body structure of tail. It is useless body structure for, and it is harmful also. Sometimes we cannot have a tail and move everywhere. It is so awkward, or it is so difficult to manage with a tail. So as the human beings evolved, the tails undergo degeneration. It is useless body structure in our body. Now here you can see this, you can write in the answer that some part in the human beings which are useful, it is useless. Okay, some part which are useless, vestigial for the human beings, but the same part is fully functional in other animal. You can see here the comparison. Appendix, which I told you, appendix at the large intestine, at the end of the large intestine, appendix are present. We don't use it. It is useless organ for our body, but you can see the useful and fully functional organ in a cow, the ruminant organism, ruminant animals like cow, buffaloes, goat. So appendix is fully functional and it is very useful for them. Next, muscles of ear pinna. Ear pinna you are not using. It is there, your ear pinna. You are not using. It is useless. It is vestigial organ. But the same ear pinna is useful and fully functional for the monkeys. They are moving it while they are listening. They are moving. Okay. Next here, some vestigial organs are given. Tailbone which is undergone degeneration for the human beings, that is called as coccyx. Next, wisdom teeth. Third one is body hair. Body hair also we don't use it. Okay. So these are all some vestigial organs. So if somebody is asking you in the exam, it is asked, write some vestigial organs. So wisdom teeth, body hair, coccyx. Then what we have seen, the appendix. So these are vestigial or useless organs. And these vestigial organs, this is also one example, nictitating membrane. Nictitating membrane is useful and fully functional in the birds. They cover their eyes with the nictitating membrane, but we can't do that. It is useless and non-functional in our human beings. Nictitating membrane. Next, vestigial organs, fully developed wings are there in the bird, and in some bird it is underdeveloped wings because they are not using frequently, so it gone underdeveloped. Like this is other bird which is not using most frequently, so it is underdeveloped. Okay students, I will ask you question, then if time permits I will show you the video on the TopScore app. Yes students, start giving the answer. First question is, formation of new species due to changes in specific characters as a response to natural selection is called as dash. Yes students, and before saying the answer you have to tell your name and then answer. Hello. Hello ma'am. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes ma'am, audible no? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes students, tell me. Khushi is, I think, raised hand. Just
Ma'am, Khushi from Tilaknagar MPS.
yes. Say answer beta. Formation of new species
Ma'am,
due to
first
changes in specific characters as a response to natural selection is called as what?
evolution.
Evolution. Very good.
Evolution.
Okay, so this type of question can come in your exam with the 4 option. So you have to write down the correct option. Okay, MCQs this can come, or for 1 marks question also it can come. Next question: Big Bang theory was proposed by the scientist dash. Which scientist discovered this Big
Miss,
Bang
can
theory?
I?
Yes, name.
Anjali Agrihari from Goshala MPS.
Okay,
The
okay.
Big Bang,
Anjali.
the Big Bang theory was proposed by the scientist George Lemaitre.
George Lemaitre. Very good. Correct. Next, where the first living organism protoplasm has been formed? Other student? Yes. Where the first living organism protoplasm has been formed?
Miss, can
Miss, I
I?
am Shweta Yadav from Worli Sippe School.
Hey, beta Shweta.
The first living organism protoplasm has been formed in ocean.
Okay, correct. Very correct. Good. Next, if some living organism shows similar characteristic, that means they have come from dash origin. Yes.
Ancestors.
Common ancestor. We can say common ancestor, but for this blank, what will come? Who is answering?
From its origin.
Yes. You can, if there is option common, you can write common origin, or you can write same origin. Okay. So they have come from common ancestor or from the same origin. Good students. At the end, I will show you the video.
Evolution. Evolution is a gradual change occurring in living organisms over a long duration. This is a very slow-going process through which development of organisms is achieved. Formation of new species due to changes in specific characters of several generations of living organisms as a response to natural selection is called evolution. All the stages and changes occurred in various components ranging from stars and planets in space to the biosphere present on the Earth should be included in the study of evolution. Man has always been curious to know about how these stars and planets were formed. The Big Bang theory was proposed in this regard. Scientist Georges Lemaitre proposed this theory. According to this theory, approximately 13.7 billion years ago, the universe started as just a single point. This single point exploded, and all the material present inside it was thrown in the space. Gradually, from these materials, stars and planets were formed. A peek into history. Many philosophers and religious scholars have written their views about formation of life. There seems to be a thorough discussion over the formation of universe in various cultures like Indian, Chinese, Roman, Greek, etc. Various cultures have noted different types of information about planets, stars, the Panch Mahabhuta, etc. in the poetry, stories, and sacred books. About 3.5 billion years ago, life did not exist on the Earth. Scientists have mentioned few possibilities about how life began on the Earth. According to it, at the beginning, there may have been only simple elements in the ocean on the Earth, and simple type of organic and inorganic compounds may have been formed from those. Complex compounds like proteins and nucleic acids may have been formed over a long period from those simple compounds. From the mixture of different type of organic and inorganic compounds, the first primitive type of cells may have been formed. Number of those cells may have increased at the cost of surrounding chemicals. There may have been some differences among those cells, and according to the principle of natural selection, some may have shown good growth and some may have perished, which could not adjust with the surroundings. Huge animals like dinosaur, which once existed on the earth, became extinct due to this principle of natural selection. Even today, many species of animals and birds are not able to adjust to the changes that take place in their surroundings. Both environmental and man-made factors are responsible for these changes. Due to this, these species become extinct. In spite of this, at present, crores of species of plants and animals with huge diversity regarding shape and complexity are present on the earth. Animal diversity ranges from the unicellular amoeba and paramecium to man and giant whale. The plant diversity also consists of various species ranging from unicellular chlorella to the huge banyan tree. The life exists everywhere on the earth, from equator to both the poles. Living organisms are present in air, water, land, rocks, etc. Since ancient period, humans have shown curiosity about the origin of life and reasons for such a great diversity in life present on the earth. Different theories about origin and evolution of life have been proposed till today, of which theory of gradual development of living organisms is accepted. Come, let us study about this theory in detail. Theory of evolution. According to the theory of evolution, the first living material, that is, protoplasm, has been formed in ocean. In due course of time, unicellular organism was formed. Gradually, changes occurred in the unicellular organisms, from which larger and more complex organisms were formed. All these changes were slow and gradual.